I'm just thinking it's very hot right now and I've made myself a coffee. That's not a good idea. And also I'm already starting to sweat and you'll start seeing it on my armpits on this shirt. Yeah, I'm gonna go get changed. That's better. I'm in my shorts and my vest. Appropriate for what I'm about to talk about. Remembering my LA trip. So the reason I'm talking about it is because the anniversary of when I went has come around yet again. I'm pretty certain there's quite a few people that I know who are sick of me talking about it. But I don't care. I loved that adventure. It was the best holiday I've ever had. I mean, yes, Florida was fantastic. Scotland, when I went in 2009 with Joe, that was brilliant. But none of them hold a candle to Los Angeles. In fact, for the first few years I actually knew what I did day by day on my adventure. You know, I knew what I did in order of the days. And then I think it was after I'd been to Florida that just sort of floated away. But I'm actually starting to remember now because I'm actually watching my holiday film day by day and also my vlogs. And because of that I thought, why not talk about my favourite parts of that Los Angeles trip? I mean, I'm not going to go on about every single bit of detail. You know, like for example, when I went to the airport at 10:30 at night and my flight wasn't until, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Something like that. I could find out. I think I've still got my itinerary. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. I'm a hoarder. So yeah, I'm not going to go on about all the airport stuff. I mean, it's all on a vlog. But I do remember the shuttle from LAX to my hotel. Every time we pulled over and the driver went to let somebody out, I'm like, oh, I stunk really bad. But I'd been, you know, travelling for quite a long time. And I clearly remember walking into my hotel room and just being astounded by how big it was. You know, I had 2 double beds just for me. And I remember going down to the restaurant that night and having a burger and chips and beer. I only know that because I watched it on my holiday film. But I do remember, because I had a Wi-Fi connection in the hotel, I was able to use, I forgot what the app was called. It wasn't WhatsApp, it was another app that you can use where you can text or make phone calls through the Wi-Fi connection. But anyway, I remember I was sat there, it was 9 PM LA time, I thought it was 5 AM here. I'll just send my mum a text to let her know that I'm okay, and straight away she replied. So I thought, why not ring her up? Just to let her know that I was safe and sound. And then I remember just before midnight I'd edited my video and I thought, right, I'm going to go to bed, set no alarms, get up whenever. Yeah, around 6 AM I woke up suddenly. I'm like, okay then, I can't get back to sleep. So I didn't get jet lag. I think I had the opposite of jet lag, whatever that is. That day I went around Vienna Park after I booked some excursions with a guy called Benny down in the lobby of the hotel. And then I remember the next day I went on this excursion where they took us through Los Angeles and Hollywood and down to Rodeo Drive, which I for some reason called Rodeo Drive, and Venice Beach. And I remember that day as well that my eye, I think it was this eye, was just itching all the time and it was dry. And the thing is, I eventually figured out what the problem was. I was using sunscreen spray in my bathroom in the hotel room and it was getting in my eye. I know, hello. But one of my favourite days came next because I went to a place that I'd always wanted to go since I was year big, Universal Studios. I absolutely loved it there. Of course my favourite had to be the Jurassic Park ride. The day after that I did a Hollywood Hills tour, but I didn't really bother filming that because I'd already been around that area. And then I went to Warner Brothers Studios on the same day and I started vlogging, but it turned out that I wasn't able to film anything around that place. And because of that I just stopped filming, so there was no vlog for that. And then the next day after that was Disneyland. I absolutely loved Disneyland. It was fantastic. Jumping to Wednesday, because Tuesday I didn't really do anything, I just stayed around the hotel. I did the hop-on hop-off bus to Santa Monica. If I could, I would move there. It is so beautiful. And it's full of shops, and you know me, I like shopping. The day after that I'd gone to Knott's Berry Farm. I did enjoy it, but it, you know, compared to the other theme parks, not a patch on them. And of course the Friday, Saturday was VidCon You know, the Friday I got to meet people like Justine. I still have fond memories of that, and her sister Jenna. There are others like Spricket24 who doesn't make videos anymore, but I really enjoyed meeting her. And of course Kate and Corey, back when they were together. It was Corey's fault that I went to LA in the first place, and I told him that because he once put on a vlog that he wanted people from around the world to come to VidCon, to come meet them, and that they were going to do something on the day after VidCon. And at that point I'd stopped paying for my car, my Alfa Romeo, because, you know, I'd finished paying it off, and so my bank balance was climbing. I'm like, oh, idea. So that's why I blame him for that. I thanked him for it. And the second day of VidCon I met Felicia Day, one of the highlights of my life, and of course Caitlin Bell, because, you know, I really wanted to meet her. We were tweeting at each other and eventually we found one another, and, you know, I spent a good 10-15 minutes just talking to her. It was just brilliant. And of course the day after that I went back to Disneyland. The day after that I went to SeaWorld, and then I saved well, I wouldn't say it was the best, but I saved a brilliant day for the last full day, Six Flags. It was just roller coaster after roller coaster. I couldn't have been more happy. And I even remember sitting down outside the park at the end of the day, waiting for my bus to take me back to the hotel, and just talking to the vlog about my experience, pretty much what I've just been doing now. And I actually did that a second time later that night after I'd finished vlogging. I was still doing my holiday film. I'd gone across the road to a steakhouse because I had plenty of money at this point, so I was just splashing out. And I was sat outside the hotel room afterwards just talking to the camera about the holiday. Then the next day I clearly remember very well because it was an emotional day. As I was leaving the hotel room, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Honestly, perfect. I was leaving the hotel room with a lump in my throat. I was saying goodbye to Benny in the lobby as I was getting onto the shuttle to the airport with a lump in my throat. I actually had to fight back tears the whole way to the airport because I could see LA, the buildings in the distance, and I was welling up and my throat was really tight, and I'm just like, no, hold it together, you can get through this. And I got to the airport, which actually is a bit of a blur. I don't really remember much about being at the airport other than I got myself a coffee. Then I was on the plane, and I remember I was sat next to the window and big lump in my throat, and eventually the plane started taxiing out and it got to the runway, and it didn't wait. It wasn't a case of, you know, get to the runway and wait for the tower to tell them they can go. They just went. Speed poured on, and as soon as those wheels left the ground, tears just streamed down my face. I cried. I absolutely cried. I didn't cry like a baby, like but I was just silently crying. And yeah, it just really upset me that I was leaving, because for some reason Los Angeles just felt like home to me. As soon as I got there I just felt so comfortable. I can't explain it properly. So leaving, it felt like my heart was being broken. And since then I've been saying to people that one day I will go back. And I think people are sick of me saying that. Oh, hold on a minute, I've just remembered to score a coffee. It might be cold by now. It's not hot. Anyway, 2013 came my first anniversary of that holiday. And I was a little bit, I wouldn't say upset, but confused, I guess, because that year just flew by. And of course I started watching my videos back on a day-to-day basis from the holiday. You know, the same date I did something, I watched it. But at that point I decided I wasn't going to go on holiday that year. I was saving up for a car. Somehow I ended up with a dog. Because I wasn't going on holiday that week, my friends Joe and Pete, they said, oh, we're going to Scotland for a weekend, would you like to come with us? I'm like, yeah, okay. And that's when I came back with Harley. Go figure. But I did eventually buy a new car right at the beginning of 2014. And then the second anniversary of my holiday came around, and I was still a bit sad, but I wasn't really that bothered because at this point I'd already started making plans for another holiday, which was Florida. I also went camping to Snowdon. I can't forget that. Sometimes I do. But I'm not going to reminisce about Florida right now. That'll be probably another video in about 2 years time. Of course, the problem with Florida was it almost emptied my bank balance. Like, I was at the cusp of having no money left. And it wasn't because of all the money that I spent in Florida, it was because for some reason my work wasn't paying me in a weekly basis like I asked them to. You see, when you put in a form at work to ask for holidays, you're supposed to tick in this box, and it's either you get paid your money in advance or you get it paid while you're away. And that's what I ticked, and for some reason they didn't pay me. But I don't want to keep going on about that. The reason I have brought it up is because in 2015 I didn't really have the money to go on holiday, so I just spent that year saving up. Although I did go to the Lake District, which I really enjoyed. But during that year, the 3rd anniversary of my trip came by, and I was still bewildered by how long it had been. But at this point I'd forgotten what I did day by day, and I didn't even bother watching the videos back, I don't think. So yeah, it was starting to become a faded memory. Then 2016 came, and I'd got quite a bit of money, and I was determined to go back to Los Angeles. But unfortunately, in February of that year, my boiler died, so I had to replace it, and that isn't cheap. Cost me £2 to get that put in. £2. So of course my holiday to Los Angeles out the window. Then my 4th anniversary came around, and that started making me feel more determined that I need to go back to Los Angeles. Except I ended up going back to Scotland again. I went with my friends Joe, Pete, their son Archie and Harley. And then came last year, 2017, which is kind of a weird one, because at this point, even when the anniversary came up of me going to Los Angeles, I started thinking, do I really want to go back there, or do I want to go somewhere new like I did when I went to Florida? And I spent ages looking at catalogues and brochures and online, just looking at holidays, and I was just the entire year just confused as to where do I want to go. And before I knew it, the end of the year came, and I was like, oh, what happened there? I did go on another camping trip, New Forest. So now it's 2018, and yet again I'm in that same boat. Do I go back to Los Angeles or do I go somewhere new? And I'm just like, oh, I can't decide. So I decided that this year I was going to go camping earlier than I normally would, and I've just been to South Wales, which was brilliant. And since I've come back, it's been, do I go to LA or do I go somewhere new? And it's this juggling act that I've just sending my brain loopy. And of course the 6th anniversary of my LA trip has come up, and this is going to sound very, very strange, but it's me. You should be used to it by now. You see, when it came to the 20th of June, which is when I set off in 2012, it was a Wednesday. This year, 20th of June, is a Wednesday. It's the same days as it was in 2012. And for some reason, this is the weird part, it hit me really hard. In fact, so hard, goosebumps again. Seriously, I almost started crying. Why? I didn't last year or the year before that or even the 3rd year, but because it's the same days as well as the dates, it really, really hit me. I went to work on that day and I was just so glum, and so I was pottering around work just thinking about LA, thinking about all the things I did. I've started watching the holiday film like day by day. I started watching the vlogs again on a daily basis, and it made me decide something. Oh, what's this? Oh yes, I'm going back to LA in October. Surprise! That's why I'm talking about remembering LA, because I'm going back. I booked it just the other day. I couldn't be more happier. I'm not kidding, I am going back to LA. Honestly, that day when I realised that it was the same day as well as the same day, and I was really upset, straight away in my brain, this, you know, this weighing scale or juggling act of LA or somewhere else, that just out the window. I've said that again. And that's when the decision was made. I'm going back to LA. Don't know why I'm holding my hand up still. And that's what made me make my decision, because it hit me so hard, harder than it did the 1st anniversary. I had to do it. I had to go back. I fly out, hold on the 1st of October, and I get back on the 16th. And this time I'm not staying in Vienna Park. I'm staying at Anaheim, where Disneyland is. I can't wait. And I'm just realising that this video is going to be a very long one. I think I better end it. So I shall say thank you for watching and subscribing if you have, and liking it if you did. I think I should start saying that. Until the next time, peace out. I actually wanted to hire a car for this LA trip, but it turns out to do that you need a credit card. Huh? I don't have a credit card, I've never had a credit card, I never will have a credit card. I think it's the devil's work. But they have this thing, this waiver, like I think $350, where if something happens to the car, you know, you're in an accident or something, they keep that money. But if nothing happens, they give it you back. I understand that, but why can't I just use my debit card for that? I have the money, why not just take it and then give it me back afterwards, as long as I don't have a problem? I think these car hire people are the devil's minions. I've just realised I'm still waving this about. Oh well.